but he suffered. I think with NPD and BPD, there is a level of self-hatred. There is a level of low self-worth, and they can have incredibly low patches and low self-esteem, and actually really dislike for themselves, and actually really struggle in life to be happy and to be happy with themselves. And so they create this kind of alter ego, this front. This is very, very prevalent in NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, where they're like, I am the shit, and I am the bollocks, and I'm the best, and come across as maybe grandiose or arrogant, or I'm incredible. But deep down, underneath it all, there is a huge level of self-hatred and self-loathing, and that can be due to the combination of the parenting from, for example, the father, and the parenting from the mother. These are obviously examples. Some people with personality disorders are orphans, or I wrote something once called Every Combination. I think for me, it is trying to understand someone's unique combination. And like I say, I think the future of medicine is treating the individual, not treating the collective. One person's BPD, sorry for the helicopter, one person's BPD is very different from someone else's BPD. I think the main thing that we need is a separate system to treat personality disorders. Personality disorders are rife in the workplace. They are rife in life. People have been in relationships. Sorry about the noise. People have been in relationships with people with NPD, and they can destroy lives. It can be very painful. I think the thing that I recognize is that it is not actually their fault, due to their parenting, their genetics, and due to their body's way of creating this personality disorder to actually cope with what they have been through. The alter ego it is a way of, the front is a way of coping with how they truly feel about themselves. You currently have the police, who do a huge amount dealing firsthand with mental health crises, and unfortunately the police are not fully equipped to deal with constant suicide attempts. The ambulance, and on occasion the fire brigade. The A&E deal with a lot of crises. Personality disorders can often go unrecognised. They can often not be admitted to psychiatric wards because the beds are full, and because they're not in full-blown psychosis, they don't get a bed. So personality disorders, the reason why I wanted to speak about personality disorders to start with, is because it is a hugely neglected field, a crisis. The whole of the mental health system is in crisis and needs desperate attention and help. There are people who seriously need help, and they are not getting the help that they need, and they're on waiting lists, and there are no beds. And I don't care how much awareness there is, royal awareness, heads together, mind, people running for charities, unless the government give funding to the NHS for mental health and for psychiatric wards, for psychiatrists, for social workers, for psychiatric nurses, for therapists, for therapy. People need therapy. They don't necessarily need diagnosis and drugs. They need therapy. People need help. They need love. They need kindness. Some people need to be taught what unconditional, genuine love, parenting. There isn't a guidebook. There are many guidebooks for parenting, but there isn't a kind of course or a degree that you do before you choose to become a parent. So there are many people who are not necessarily equipped in dealing with parenting. We're all I'm not a parent. I chose not to be a parent, but I do look after children. We cannot not get political. We cannot not get political. We need money. The NHS needs money, but it needs to be managed and run efficiently. I don't agree with privatising the NHS. I do not agree with the American system. I think that health should not be a business. It should be run and managed in an efficient way, that the taxpayers' money pays for the NHS to be run efficiently, and there are systems in place to help people who desperately need it. We also have a situation whereby everybody is talking about their mental health. So the most common mental health is depression, anxiety, and everyone is talking about mental health. We need to distinguish between people who are having a bad day or a bad breakup or a hard day at work, or, finding it, hard to cope but can find ways to get by, to people who are generally in crisis and dying, and statistics are being covered up. We need to distinguish, like I said about the spectrum, who needs acute attention and help. So I'm going to leave it there. There's a lot of research that you can do on personality disorders. I don't want to start quoting everything I've read from the research I've done, but from the experience that I have, this is personality disorders are a separate entity, and they need their own unique system in helping people. They are destroying their own lives. We lost Noel. I love Noel, but we lost Noel, and that's one life. And I'm aware of a lot more deaths, but that's one life that I knew, that I loved, that I'd say maybe the system failed. Maybe I feel I failed Noel. Maybe I feel like I wasn't there for him enough. I didn't, maybe it was Noel's time. Maybe it was Noel's time, but I'm doing this for Noel, and I'm doing this for everybody else who's died from, personality disorders or mental illness-related deaths. I'll leave it there. I'm going to talk about other mental illness, but educate yourselves, listen to other people, pick up the phone, reach out to people, be there for one another, be kind, and let's make change, real positive change happen. I'm so serious about how much we need funding and politicians to give the NHS funding in this desperately needed area. It's just they're broken, and it breaks my heart to know the amount of suffering of people who aren't getting the benefits that they need, the benefits cutting due to the budget. I'll just talk about the recent smoking ban. Rishi Sunak. 2/3 of mentally ill people are twice as likely to smoke, and smoking has been known to actually help people calm their symptoms and help them in crisis states. There is a medicine in tobacco. Chemicals do kill. Nicotine is addictive. I'm fully aware of the reasons of why they want to bring about a ban. But I do think that smoking should be allowed in psychiatric wards, in the gardens, on the grounds. I do think that people should be allowed to smoke. But the cigarette industry, the chemicals, the vapes, it's a whole nother post. Let's act. I want to take this away from social media. I want to bring about change. I don't just want to be posting on social media, because I don't want it to... It's not about likes, it's about change. So let's create a movement. Let's create a movement, and let's truly try and help people. Thank you, and lots of love.